Hello everybody, welcome back. So a bit of a change to the normal style that I'm going to be using this new laptop actually, which is obviously not new. It's a pile of crap, but it's going to do the job while I'm away. So I'm not at home at the moment. So for the next 5 days, this is how the videos are going to look. And then the normal top quality streams and videos will come back into play. You know, production value has always been a major part of my channel. So you'll have to suffer with this. Obviously, that's sarcasm at its finest. Let's have a look at the chart, shall we? So this is Bitcoin, and I suppose just going on from what we said last night in the stream for those who joined the Patreon members. Uh, in summary, everything's looking pretty good for another attempt to, I suppose, a new all-time high. Now, I'm not super massively bullish, or I suppose massively bearish. The odds are in our favour at the moment, and we did say in the stream that we are looking for, I suppose, a flash dump, and we've kind of got that now. So I'm expecting this to recover. Probably today over the next few days, and the reason I say that is that because when we look at this is also something we looked at yesterday. The Dixie chart's still in this uptrend, looking to make its way, in my opinion, all the way up to 95 over the next, well, probably a couple of months, to be honest, before a rejection, a decent rejection. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't have small pullbacks. I mean, we've launched quite high and quite fast. And for those who wonder why I'm talking about the Dixie, basically, a strong dollar is not so much a weak crypto, but it does offer, I suppose, less opportunities for bigger highs. But the way I'm choosing to view it is that we are in this pitchfork tool, roughly speaking, and we kind of got rejected from the top of it yesterday and today. A full pullback on this one, we might only hit the bottom end of the channel here, which would bring us down to about 92.9, 92.8 over the next day or two, and then probably carry on. Now, if we were lucky, we'd catch a deeper retracement, maybe to the center, which would bring us down to around 92.4, thereabouts, 92.3. So again, I'm not looking for massive pullbacks on the Dixie, which does add an element of skepticism about the way that we interpret these charts. So this is the 15-minute, but the daily is still pretty good. It's still primed for continuation, in my opinion. We are not, I honestly don't think we're going to break down here. But what I would say, and again, it's something that I'm echoing from the live stream yesterday, is that, yes, we've got a high here, we've got a higher high here, and we may get a higher high up here. But because yesterday there was the whole, PayPal news, we didn't really receive much of a pump, and that could be because the Dixie, had a decent move these last few days, and that is the kind of weight on top of Bitcoin's shoulders that we're referring to when the Dixie gets strong. But also, if we go to a weekly, what we see on the RSI is bearish divergence. It's been going on for a very long time, but really emphasized since January, and here, and here. We also have bearish divergence also taking place on the 3 daily as well. So let's have a quick look at that. So bearish divergence on the 3 daily, and we've actually got a negative cross here. I'm not too concerned about MACD crosses like this on the 3 day, but it is becoming more of a topish kind of vibe at the moment. So if we do make a new all-time high on Bitcoin, it's for me personally, and again, your strategy is your strategy, but for me, I would be thinking about taking some profits and waiting to see how it plays out, because bearish divergence of that magnitude on a weekly does kind of lend itself to a larger pullback. Now we do look like we do want to put in a new all-time high. The top of this Bollinger Band would allow us to get all the way up to, well, I mean, 60s, well, upper 60s, I would say, between 66 to 68 at best. And then I honestly, truly do feel as though that may be the top for the moment. And the reason I bring that top up again and again and again is because over the next month or two, I do expect this Dixie to continue with this rally. And, even if we do get rejected at 95, and we carry on roughly within this channel here, and again, this is only a rough channel. If we break out of here, it just means that we go bullish faster. If we stay within the channel, it gives us, I suppose, a bit more of a guide in time frames than anything else, more than supports and resistances. It means that between April, May, June, maybe even July, all the way to August, could have some hefty hefty issues taking place with Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. Now, at the moment, it's not doom and gloom, and all of this can be reversed if the Dixie breaks down. And the problem with the Dixie, or should I say the um, the other factor, the other variable with the Dixie, is that it's vulnerable to anything that happens in the political forum. So if something takes place, if more money gets printed or something spectacular happens on a fundamental level which would devalue the Dixie, then yeah, we're likely to get pumped across the board. So it's the same vibe with Ethereum. Ethereum's basically mimicking Bitcoin in every way, So I'm still bullish on all these tokens in the very short term, but we still have bearish divergence on the weekly. We are likely to have it on the 3 daily here, I would imagine. Yeah, we got it quite significantly on the 3 daily as well. But it doesn't mean that I'm not expecting a new all-time high to be put in. I kind of am. I really am. But I am also getting pretty overcautious at these levels, and it's all based on the Dixie. Now, one other thing, another variable, just because I run the risk of sounding like somebody who's significantly bearish, which I'm not. I'm clearly bullish long term. Um, but there is one case to be put in favor of altcoins here, which is if we break down below 60% dominance here, it's going to extend the alt season, which has technically already been had. So alt season began in January, and it's technically still already in play. Bitcoin's putting up a fight around these zones here, and it's been pretty boring in that respect. So yes, there's been lots of alts that we've been trading. Lots of alts actually, especially the smaller caps like Holochain, FET, StormX gone crazy, Seller, Harmony One. All of these ones have been launching like crazy. But the top caps have been stagnant, and I think that's been the problem with this Bitcoin dominance. Until the top caps start to outperform Bitcoin, this isn't really going to break down below 60. So we are looking at Ethereum to really want to take on its own vibe. And at the moment, this chart doesn't look like it wants to take on its own vibe, unfortunately. It's trending with Bitcoin. So I am still skeptical that we will break down below 60 at this point now, even though we are bearish. We've got a negative cross here, that's a death cross here. If we just turn the Ichimoku cloud on, we've got a negative cross here as well. These are all, in favor of this continuing with a downtrend. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see huge pumps with alts. It just shows that at the moment, the market it's not 50-50, it's 40-60, but it's still pretty good balance at the moment for altcoins versus Bitcoin. Overall, just like I say, cut a long story short, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I do think it's going to put in a new all-time high soon, and when we reach the peak of that, which would be, in my opinion, the upper $60,000 area, that might be the top for maybe a few months, and I would be looking for a deeper correction. This is all, like I say, my preferred strategy on this one. This is just how it looks on the shorter term time frames and the longer term time frames. And most of this is based upon the Dixie and the bearish divergence taking place on the larger time frames of Bitcoin. So if we're having bearish divergence that's been going on for 3 or 4 months now, it is going to play out. And when we catch moves on weeklies, they do play out in to a larger extent. Bigger moves. Bigger moves will play out. So I'm expecting a bigger move to the down from wherever our next top is. So these corrections have been pretty nasty for those who haven't experienced them, but they really haven't been anything crazy. They've been shakeouts. That's basically all they've been. They've been shakeouts. I think we will be looking at a deeper correction at some point, maybe after this next all-time high. But once that has been put in, that deeper correction has been put in, then it'll be off back to the moon again. And if you watch me on my live streams, or if you remember the Patreon, or even just a member of the Telegram, you've probably heard me talk about the next large wave of alt season takes place anytime from as early as May and as late as August, and that corresponds to the way that this Dixie chart looks. The Dixie chart looks like it's going to carry on with this uptrend, be rejected as early as May and as late as August. So when you have confluence in a variety of different charts that kind of speak to you in the same way. I put my I put a lot of weight on that. And if everything comes together when the stars align, then it'll be pretty good. So taking profits is always good. They're not profits until they've been taken. That's my plan on this next move up. Take profits and then just play it safe, really. Play it safe, because if we do correct it, it could be quite nasty. But you know, worst case scenario, you get stuck in a trade all the way till August, worst case scenario, and then everything pumps again significantly. So overall, the market is still pretty good, and even if this correction does take place and brings us down to the 20 weekly, which is a possibility, which at the moment brings us to around about between $38,000 to $39,000 per Bitcoin. That is a relatively big move that could take place. And if it were to happen today, it would be to the tune of, well, actually, it's not that big when you think about it. It's not that big. It's a 36% retracement. It's not that big at all. It's just another retracement to the same tune of 30 odd percent. But it could happen. I think it is likely to happen. That's 38% from where we are right now. From, let's just say we moved right to the top of this Bollinger Band area. Where we could essentially blow a top off. That would be a retracement of about 42-43%. It's rough, it's ready, it's kind of crazy to speculate on such large moves when the majority of everybody, including myself, is short-term bullish, and the market has been so unbelievably bullish that it has ignored the sort of divergences on these indicators for the majority of this run up. So that's my opinion. It's based upon technical analysis and nothing more than that. And my strategy is my strategy. Don't let it become yours unless you feel like you've decided on something that you think is appropriate based on your own analysis, because I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.